Welcome to our explainer on terms of trade. In this video, we'll explore a fundamental concept in economics: how the price of a country's exports relative to its imports determines its gains from trade. Understanding terms of trade is crucial because it helps us grasp how nations benefit from engaging in international trade. We'll start by defining what terms of trade entails. Simply put, it measures the rate at which one country's goods trade for those of another. Why is this important? Because it directly affects the wealth of nations. If a country's export prices rise relative to its import prices, it can obtain more imports for a given quantity of exports, resulting in economic gain. Conversely, if import prices rise, the country may face economic challenges. Throughout this video, we'll break down this theory step by step, offering clear, accessible explanations to help you understand the nuances involved. By the end, you'll have a deeper insight into how these trade relationships shape economic policies and national strategies. As we dive in, remember, grasping this concept is key to understanding broader economic dynamics. Stay tuned as we unpack the intricacies of terms of trade and their significant impact on global economics. Before we dive deeper into the theory, it's essential to understand two fundamental concepts: exports and imports. First, let's define exports. Exports are goods and services produced in one country and sold to other countries. Think of products like automobiles, electronics, and agricultural crops that are shipped from one nation to another. On the flip side, imports are goods and services that a country buys from other nations. These include items such as clothing, machinery, and raw materials that are brought into the country for use or resale. Understanding these basic definitions sets the stage for comprehending more complex economic principles like the terms of trade. In simpler terms, exports are what we sell to others, and imports are what we buy from others. As we continue, we'll use everyday examples to illustrate these concepts, making it easier to grasp their significance in the global market. With a clear understanding of exports and imports, we'll be ready to explore why these exchanges happen and the benefits they bring. Stay with us as we journey through the foundational elements that drive global trade and impact economies worldwide. Next, we'll delve into why countries trade and the gains they achieve from these exchanges. Why do countries engage in trade? The answer lies in the concept of comparative advantage. Each nation benefits by specializing in what it produces best and trading with others. This practice allows countries to achieve economic gains they couldn't attain alone. The benefits of trade are manifold. It facilitates access to a greater variety of goods and services, enhances resource allocation, and stimulates innovation. When nations exchange goods and services, they can enjoy improved standards of living, better employment opportunities, and increased economic growth. Comparative advantage means that countries can produce certain items more efficiently than others. Instead of each nation striving to become self-sufficient, they trade, sharing their efficient products and benefiting mutually. This interaction isn't just about exchanging goods, it's about leveraging strengths to achieve collective advancement. As we delve deeper into the mechanics of trade, we uncover how such economic interactions shape our world. So, how do these trade dynamics translate into economic gains? And what exactly does that mean for the nations involved? As we move forward, you'll see the quantifiable aspects of this economic theory unfold, providing a clearer picture of the real-world impacts and applications. In this segment, we're diving into how to calculate the terms of trade, a key concept in understanding economic gains from trade. The terms of trade is calculated by taking the price of a country's exports and dividing it by the price of its imports, then multiplying the result by 100. This formula gives us a percentage that reflects the rate at which one good can be exchanged for another. Now, let's walk through a practical example. Imagine a country exports machinery at a price of $200 per unit and imports textiles at $100 per unit. Using our formula, we take $200, divide it by $100, and then multiply by 100. The result is 200%, indicating that the country's exports are valued twice as high as its imports. Understanding this calculation is essential because it helps us gauge the economic power and trade leverage a country holds. As we move forward, you'll see how various factors can influence these calculations and what it means for a country's overall economic strategy. So, stay tuned as we continue to unpack the intricacies of the terms of trade. Several factors can affect a nation's terms of trade, each playing a crucial role in determining its economic gains. First, let's talk about price changes. When the prices of exported goods rise more than the prices of imported goods, a country's terms of trade improve. Conversely, if import prices rise faster than export prices, the terms of trade deteriorate. Next, we have supply and demand dynamics. A higher demand for a country's exports enhances its terms of trade, while an oversupply of goods tends to reduce the prices and thus worsen the terms of trade. Similarly, increased demand for imports can drive up their prices, impacting the balance unfavorably. Finally, exchange rates play a pivotal role. A depreciation in a country's currency can make exports cheaper and imports more expensive, typically leading to an improvement in the terms of trade. However, if the currency appreciates, the opposite effect occurs, potentially harming trade balance. Understanding these factors provides clear insights into how various elements contribute to shaping a nation's economic fortunes. As we move forward, you'll see how these theoretical concepts play out in real world examples, bringing the theory to life and showing their practical implications. Let's look at some real world examples to see how terms of trade works in practice. Our first case study examines country X, a major exporter of agricultural products. By focusing on exporting high demand crops, country X has managed to secure favorable trade terms, boosting its economic gains significantly. Next, we turn to country Y, an exporter of technology goods. Despite fluctuating global demands, country Y's ability to innovate and produce high-value products has kept its terms of trade advantageous. These examples highlight how strategic export choices and market dynamics can shape a country's economic benefits. As we move forward, you'll see how these principles influence economic policy and trade agreements, reinforcing the crucial role of strategic exports in shaping a nation's economic benefits. The terms of trade isn't just a theoretical concept, it has powerful implications for economic policy at both national and international levels. When policymakers understand the shifting dynamics of the terms of trade, they can craft more effective trade agreements. These agreements often hinge on the relative prices of a country's exports versus its imports. In recent years, we've seen how changes in terms of trade influence economic strategies. For instance, countries might adjust tariffs, subsidies, or even form new alliances to safeguard their economic interests. By closely monitoring these economic indicators, policymakers can make informed decisions that bolster their nation's economic stability and growth. From negotiating better terms in trade agreements to adjusting monetary policies, the impact of the terms of trade on economic strategy is significant. It shapes how a nation engages with the global market and secures its economic future. Understanding this impact not only illuminates the interconnected nature of global economics, but also prepares us to navigate the complex terrain of international trade. As we move forward, you'll see how these policies come to life through real-world examples, reinforcing the crucial role of the terms of trade in shaping modern economies. Measuring the terms of trade accurately can be fraught with challenges. Data accuracy is a significant hurdle, as any errors in data collection or reporting can lead to misleading conclusions. Moreover, market volatility constantly influences the prices of exports and imports. This ever-changing landscape requires up-to-date data and quick adjustments. Measurement limitations also play a critical role. The methods used to calculate the terms of trade often can't account for all economic complexities, such as changes in quality or new product introductions. These limitations mean that the calculated terms of trade might not fully capture the real-world dynamics. Understanding these challenges is essential for economic students, educators, and policymakers alike. By being aware of these potential pitfalls, one can develop more reliable strategies and policies. As we move forward, you'll see how these challenges influence real-world scenarios and economic policies, highlighting the importance of accurate measurement for informed decision-making. As we look to the future, the landscape of trade is set to transform profoundly. globalization will continue to knit countries closer together, creating intricate webs of interdependence. Now, more than ever, technological advancements will redefine how goods and services cross borders, utilizing cutting edge innovations like blockchain and AI. Furthermore, economic shifts, driven by emerging markets and policy changes, will alter the balance and flow of global trade. These dynamic factors, when combined, will play a pivotal role in shaping the terms of trade, influencing how nations negotiate and benefit from their trade agreements. Understanding these trends is crucial for grasping the future of international trade and its potential impacts on economies worldwide. As we move forward, brace yourselves for a rapidly evolving trade environment, rich with opportunities and challenges alike. In our next segment, we'll summarize the key takeaways from our explorations and offer some final thoughts. As we conclude our exploration of the terms of trade, let's recap the essential points we've covered. We started by defining the terms of trade and understanding its importance in economics. We then delved into the intricacies of exports and imports, underscoring how they impact a country's economic standing. We explored how countries gain from trade, leveraging their comparative advantages to improve living standards. Then we looked at the formula to calculate the terms of trade and examined real-world examples that brought theory to life. Next, we discussed the various factors that influence these terms, such as price changes, supply and demand, and exchange rates. We also saw how terms of trade shape economic policy, affecting trade agreements and strategic decisions. While understanding the challenges in measuring these terms due to data accuracy and market volatility, we also peeked into the future trends driven by globalization and technological advancements. To summarize, the terms of trade is a crucial concept in understanding a country's economic gains from trade. By grasping this, you can better appreciate the dynamics of international economics. Thank you for watching. Stay curious and keep exploring the economics that shape our world.